Actually, today's the second day. But starting this week, I have just gotten to the point where I work a max of 90 minutes a day. This is not a brag video. This is not a flex video. This video is gonna walk through the thinking behind it and maybe encourage you along your path as you're taking steps to build a life of influence and freedom. See, I'm totally driven by the potential to live a life that has great impact. And one thing I know, if I spend most of my time focused on solely making money, yes, you could have influence in the work you do in a positive way, and that's part of it. But if I focus solely on making money with most of my time and energy, well, things could get confusing quickly. And this is important for me because I come from a lower middle class lifestyle. My family immigrated to America a year before I was born, and we got by just barely. And so for me, it takes extra effort and extra time and attention to how I spend my time because the default for me is work. All right, so let's get into the video. A few months ago, I was running around like a chicken with its head cut off. I was working from say 9 a.m. to about 9 p.m. every single day. Yes, there were breaks. I would never flex that. I just worked 12 hours straight. I don't know if people could actually do that. Maybe other people can, I can't. My workflow each day was this. I was managing a team of people. I was managing a few larger client projects, specifically like myself, almost as if I was freelancing. And at the same time, I was handling work for my creative pursuits. So I love learning, creating videos like this, doing this whole process, but I was doing all of those at the exact same time. And then one day, I talked to a consultant who was supposed to help me hire more people to make my team grow and help them do some of the work I was doing so that I could build freedom into my schedule. But something else came from that. He said two things that were life-changing. The first one was, I told him my goal. My goal is to build $1 million a year business. And he said this, he said, you probably need to take 2 major leaps before you get to that $1 million a year mark. And then he said this was really impactful for me. You also need to get off the bicycle, reset your business, and hop into a car. What he meant by that is the way you're operating your business right now is not going to get you where you want to go. So you're going to have to take a step back, pause, reset your business, and move forward. And that rang true for me because just a few months prior to that conversation, I read Peter Thiel's book, 0 to 1, and he says something like this. A great startup has scale built into its initial design. And that just hit home. It rang true, it just hit home. Following, I also found this calculator where I was just in the midst of all this busyness. I found this calculator, which at the moment I can't find, but if I ever do find it, I'll drop it down below if you guys want. It helped me see that I was actually making less than minimum wage in California with the way I was working. Yes, I was operating a business. Yes, we were profitable. Yes, there was a 50% markup. But for the amount of hours I was working for that and the amount of stress I was taking on too, that's worth considering. It was definitely a lot. So back to this 90-minute thing. This is why I have set this target of working up to 90 minutes a day. And before I get into this, I do want to make one clear distinction. I love writing. I love learning. I love creating videos like this. I'm creating this video. This is not part of my 90 minutes a day of work. 90 minutes a day of work, specifically work, is for other people, other people's projects, other client work that is specifically done for a paycheck. And I don't even want to say for a paycheck, but there will be a trade of money for that work. So if I'm building up my business or creating a product or creating a video, this doesn't count in the 90 minutes. The 90 minutes of work a day are strictly and solely for other people where they're trading dollars for my time or service or product or whatever that may be. And one final thing worth saying in that caveat is this, that within the 90 minutes, I'm still able to produce $10,000 to $20,000 a month in revenue for my business. I don't know if it's a business anymore, but for my business. Okay, so let's talk about the whys. So the first why, there's gonna be 3 that I wanna break down. The first one is pursuing the unknown. There's this quote that rattles in my head that goes something like this: what keeps us from our goals is not obstacles, but a clear path to lesser goals. Remember that little analogy I shared earlier about getting off the bicycle and getting into a car? Well, the reason I've been on a bicycle for the last few years, I've gotten stuck going back to what I know, working on client projects, dealing with things that I've done before, where I know where my business should be going, but I keep going back to the things that I've done before that are easier, maybe simpler. I know where they're headed, but pursuing the unknown is a lot harder. Those parts of my life that I have not pushed into yet, well, that's the part that as soon as I step into that in my work day, as soon as I step up to my computer to create a new video or create a new article or do something that can have a bigger level of influence than what I've done before, it's usually met with some type of fear or unknown. And so by focusing in and saying, I will work only 90 minutes a day, up to 90 minutes a day, it allows me to say that there's no excuse for me not to be working on the things I'm passionate about or stepping into that unknown further. Next is going to be focus. I heard this quote that I'm going to share in a moment here that just really hit home for me. But it's hard to know how much momentum we lose each day because of a lack of focus. Now, does that make sense? Like, what I want to say is, like, it's easier to see that you made progress today. I checked off this, I did that, I got that done. But in the middle of that, I could look back for myself and see that, yeah, maybe I worked 9 to 9 and I got a lot of things done. But I also checked my email like 100 times in the process. And on top of that, I also checked social accounts. And on top of that, I also was distracted by YouTube videos. Watching YouTube videos, not making them. And those are just all different cases that could come up. So the quote I heard, it went something like this: it doesn't matter what your capacity is or what your capabilities are or what your ability is, but it's a matter of focus. So a phrase I've been using lately is do less than what you think you could handle. Say yes to less things than what you think you can handle. Don't say yes because you think you have extra time for it. Be very cautious about what you commit to, and it's better to have open space to go after the things I'm passionate about than to just fill it up. Somebody could contact me today and say, hey, I want help with a project that's a system or an operation from my past, my former self. And it could look tempting, it's money on the table, but what I do know is to focus, to have great focus and really deliver value here in this video and any of the content I create. It's gonna take focus. Third reason is this: I also am just betting on myself. Now, I have a business forum that I'm a part of other like-minded business owners. And I could share the backstory, but I'll just keep it brief for now. Last week, I took $2,500 in an envelope and gave it to the facilitator of the group. And in front of the whole group, I said, I'm committing to work no more than 90 minutes a day for the next 8 weeks. In about 8 weeks, I'll be traveling for a few weeks, and then we'll see what we do from there. But for the next 8 weeks, I'm gonna focus on just working 90 minutes a day, up to 90 minutes a day. If I work 91 minutes, if I work 1 minute over that 90 in a day, that $2,500 gets donated to a charity of his choice. I can tell you that the moment I want to check my email and it's not the 90 minutes or it's beyond the 90 minutes, I know that if I open that tab or get caught in that browser and I start checking that work or doing any additional work, well, I lose that $2,500. And that is such a great motivator. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how much that's motivated me in these last just 2-3 days starting this process. It's been something that has literally shifted my focus and my thinking. As soon as I am about to open the tab, there's this like alert, this little message that comes up in my head like, $2,500 is on the table. Now, I do want to say this caveat. Maybe you're just starting out. Maybe you work at a corporate company and you have a 9 to 5 or whatever that setup is. Working 90 minutes a day is, from where you're at to 90 minutes a day, is a huge shift. 5 years ago, I was working at a corporate company and I've gone through this process for a bit to get to this point. But this is what I would say. It may take the lessons that you're learning right now to be able to go to 90 minutes a day. And what I mean is this: I have systems in place and things I've built that took a lot more time that allow me to be able to be very productive in 90 minutes. I can get 3 articles to be written. I can respond to 2 or 3 major clients, making sure projects are moving forward. At the same time, I can consult in that time. I don't need a lot of time to do the main tasks that I'm operating and doing for clients right now. But it took skill set, it took time. So I don't want to make this video and make it seem like, oh yeah, just switch today and you'll live your best life. If you can, do it. If you have finances coming in as well, that's even a bigger reason to consider. How do you live a full life? What I asked myself was, what does a rich life look like? And a rich life for me doesn't look like working to the bone just to make more money. In some cases, I can make a ton of money, but I don't even know what to do with the money. And I think that's even worth calling out. So I've taken a step back. I don't need to have all the answers, but right now my focus is, for these next 2 months, if not for the next 6 months, for the rest of the year, is to work up to 90 minutes a day. And that gives me space to be able to create content. It also gives me space to get healthy. So fitness and all of that is something I can't push to the side. And it also helps me know that when I get bored or if I just want to work, well, then I should probably look into something I'm actually interested in. Tim Ferriss said when he did a 10-year review of his book, 4-Hour Workweek, he said the one chapter he would probably write more about if he were to change anything in the book would be the chapter on filling the void. So now what? You have all this free time. What do you do with that free time? And again, coming from a family that the focus was work, and when you're not working, you're resting so you can work. Well, what do you do with that free time? And so that's where I would speak into the how. And here are a few tips on how to bring this to life. First, just know that if you're working 10-hour days or 8-hour days, or you're at 9 to 5, the systems that you figure out in that process will help you get to that. So know it's a stepping stone, know it's part of the process to get to where you want to go. Number 2, challenge yourself. Put something on the table. That bet on myself was something that is literally so motivational. I could have told myself, hey, you could do it, go do it on your own and make it happen. But at the same time, this has allowed me, there's 7, 8 other business owners who are holding me accountable to this goal. That's a big deal. And there's this part of human psychology that makes us say, I don't want to let other people down. Sunk cost bias, I think is the way you would call it. But the fact that I put that $2,500 on the table, it is really holding this accountable. And I'll obviously report how this goes over the next 8 weeks. But right now, it has been life-changing already, just in these last 2 days. And my overall goal is, at the end of this, is to get to these 2 or 3 spots, which is I want to work up to 100 days out of the year. So that's about 2 days out of a week. The rest of the time be free and flexible and make a living that is suitable and puts money away. Next is to have up to 200 hours on the phone. This number will go down drastically over time, but my goal is to be able to consult for up to 4 hours a week with my expertise for anyone who needs it. And then third is that the majority of my business comes from products, something scalable versus services. Right now, the 10 to 20K I bring in, most of it's tied to services. I would say 80% of it is tied to services. So getting to the point where the majority of that is not tied to services, but tied to products is the goal. And that's what this journey is here that you are watching. So if you like this video or got value from this video, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We publish content every single week. And the coolest part, some of the content is training videos on how to use different software programs, but the other part of the content is this: life lessons, philosophy, books, recommendations, things I'm learning, a part of my journey that I want to share with you as this all comes to life. Please drop a comment down below if you have any questions, comments, or you just want to encourage me on this journey. Feel free to drop a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.